Hello, welcome back to Creepin' It Colorful. I'm sorry this is a late one for Sinister Saturday. Had a busy day today, and we'll see what we can get done today with another creepy tale about how they croaked. And I'm going to hand it over to Mark, and he's going to tell you the story.
Charles Darwin, naturalist and author, born Shropshire, England, February 12th, 1809, died Downey, England, April 19, 1882, 73 years old. Charles Darwin is famous for his theory of evolution. He figured out that living things evolve over millions of years and that only the strongest survive. Unfortunately, he was one of the weaker ones. He was a sweet man, but he was anxious, constantly nauseated, and afraid to leave his house. He had it bad. If anyone came to see him, he would run behind a curtain and throw up. Darwin's biggest worry was about his theory of evolution. It went against every religious belief of the time, and he knew it wouldn't go over as easy. Say the theory of gravity. So he didn't tell a soul about it for 20 years, and keeping the biggest biological secret of all time made him a sick dog until his heart couldn't take it anymore. As a boy, Darwin bagged beetles and collected crud off boat bottoms and scraped moss from trees for fun. He kept lists of everything he shot, touched, and played, like his 2,795 wins at backgammon. His dad wanted him to quit staring at anthills and get a real job. Luckily for Darwin, at 22, his ship came in along with his dream job. The British Royal Navy needed a naturalist, a person who studies plants or animals, on a 5-year surveying trip around the world aboard HMS Beagle. Darwin was in heaven. Wherever they landed, he collected stuff. He sent home 5,436 specimens to study. But that expedition was the last outdoor adventure for Darwin. He went home and never left. Within a year of returning, Darwin had figured out that every species evolved from a single form of life. While he tried to prove it, he spent a lot of time upchucking, fretting, panting for air, farting, shivering, and avoiding people. Along the way, Darwin published pleasing nature books and on the sly wrote the most revolutionary ideas about life on Earth anyone ever thought. He was a genius, but a few cards short of a full deck. He had all the aces, but he was low on sevens, eights, and nines. Darwin married his first cousin, Emma Wedgwood. He's such a genius. People married first cousins back then without knowing better, but Darwin worried about the possible consequences. They spawned 10 offspring. 2 died as babies, 1 died at 10, and 1 never was able to talk, and 1 didn't move. Darwin's house was like a little hospital where Emma played head nurse. His survival of the fittest theory played out perfectly within his own family. Only 3 of his kids were able to reproduce. On the Origin of Species was published in 1859 and it sold out immediately, but the Victorian religious community was furious about his ideas, just as he had expected. For 50 years, Darwin suffered from nausea, headaches, dizziness, numbness, boils, eczema, palpitations, insomnia, depression, and gas. This is the short list, all of which he logged in a daily healthy diary. The guy barfed after every meal and few times every night. He tried everything to keep a mill down, including poisonous concoctions made with strychnine, which didn't help. Neither did bitter Indian ale, Condy's ozonized fluid, bismuth, opium, chalk, or carbonate of ammonia. His doctors looped battery charged brass and zinc wires around his upper body and then splashed him with vinegar. But that didn't work either, not to mention the ugly marks it left all over his chest. After all else failed, Darwin forced himself to put away his microscope and leave his house to go to the famous Dr. Gully's water cure spa. There he was wrapped like a mummy in soaping wet sheets and laid out on a wooden board until his sheets dried hours later. Then they rubbed and slapped his body with towels until his skin glowed red. He had heat lamp baths to make him sweat like a pig and icy baths that froze his tail off. They aimed 650 gallons of freezing cold water at his spine and shot it through a narrow pipe. His legs erupted in boils. That was considered a sign of success. He called it his delightful water cure. Darwin didn't throw up for 30 whole days, but maybe he just felt better because his regular activities of leaning over a vat of formaldehyde, skinning dead ducks and with his bare hands, or having stare downs with stuffed squirrels came to a dead halt. For 50 years, Darwin inhaled the fumes of science and poked his fingers in everything. He didn't wear a mask or special gloves, and his work area wasn't ventilated properly. But his doctors never imagined that those things could have made him sick. The doctors couldn't find anything officially wrong with any part of him until he started having seizures. Finally they knew something, but it was bad news. Blood to his heart was blocked. He had angina. There was nothing they could do. Darwin was an old man by then. Emma made sure he stopped working. He logged his 4 millionth puke and noted his intestinal gas after dinner, as did his family. Darwin was going the way of all flesh and of all bug, reptile, and rhododendron. His clock was winding down, and the end was near. Darwin was evolving into a dead man. "I'm not the last or the least afraid to die," he said. Darwin was sick, but he wanted to keep working. One day he received in the mail from a fellow biologist a water beetle with a bivalve clam stuck to it, and he was excited. Emma finally agreed to let him go catalog his new specimen. That day he felt good. A few days later, Darwin got into bed. Pain seized his chest. He was given brandy to kill the pain, but as with everything else, he had trouble keeping it down. The doctor arrived with a skin blistering mustard plaster that he put on Darwin's chest, a remedy that did not cut the mustard. There was nothing left to do. Poor Darwin. His chest pain was excruciating. He heaved and shuddered. His skin grew cold and took on a ghostly gray shade. Bright red blood came out of his mouth and ran down his white beard. Emma stayed with him. Had he been able, he may have wanted to write in his healthy diary, "Emma rocked me in her arms. It was nice. I was tired. I died." Charles Darwin had a heart attack and died on April 19, 1882. He was 73 years old. Darwin wanted to be buried in the local graveyard next to his dead children. All controversy aside, his theory of evolution had made him a national treasure. Government officials asked the family if they wished to bury Darwin in Westminster Abbey in London, near Isaac Newton, the man who came up with the theory of gravity. It was an offer they couldn't refuse. Footnotes. Phobias. A phobia is a strong, irrational fear of something that can sometimes cause breathlessness, nausea, dizziness, and anxiety. Agoraphobia is the fear of leaving the house. Aphiphobia is fear of bees. Acrabutaphobia, the fear of peanut butter sticking to the roof of the mouth. Arithmophobia, fear of numbers. Barophobia, fear of gravity. Daphnophobia, fear of dining with others. Emetophobia, fear of vomiting. Galotophobia, fear of being laughed at. Oh my goodness.
Can't say that one. Holy, it is like 25, 35, 40. It's whatever. It's fear of long words, and it's the longest word you could ever see.
Hippopotomonostrosisquipedidalaphobia. Fear of long words. Nephophobia, fear of clouds. Olfactophobia, fear of smells. Panophobia, fear of everything.
That's about it.
Papaphobia, fear of the Pope. Pupapapophobia, fear of puppets. Testophobia, fear of taking tests. And tonitrophobia, fear of thunder. Oh my goodness. Let's see. Map of the HMS Beagle trip. And here's Dr. Gully's water cure spa. Darwin rented a house near Dr. Gully's water cure spa when he went for treatments because he didn't want to be with strangers, and his own butler did the towel wrapping and slapping, etc. No one else was allowed to touch him. Darwin sent his sick 10-year-old daughter, Annie, to Dr. Gully's for treatment. It didn't work. Annie died there and was buried nearby. Darwin was so afraid to be with other people he didn't even go to her funeral. Darwin didn't go to his own father's funeral for the same reason. Darwin did attend the funerals for his 2 children who died as infants. They were buried near his house. The end.
After all that, I wonder if he went to his own funeral. Anyway, how could someone survive back then having all those phobias and still be capable of being practically a genius? Except for the fact that he made some crazy choices. How do people do that? You know, they become so intelligent, but yet they make such crazy decisions on some things. They always say the smarter people have no common sense, but still, I mean, some things you would think you would have enough info on that you would be wary of it, not scared of it as much as he was, but still, it's just, I don't understand half the crap that he was scared of.
If you believed in evolution, what kind of genius are you really?
Well, you have to evolve somehow. We shall not dwell on that topic.
Sorry.
But anyway, we are back with this. Speaking of evolution, these butterflies evolving into psychedelic butterflies, because I wanted to have a lot of bright colors. So I picked the the brightest I could find out of my gel pens. I figured they would be the easiest, and that one might be, this one right here. Let me see if you get, this one might be my favorite so far. I'm just going along and just coloring whatever colors. I don't have a whole lot of colors, but we shall see what we can come up with as we go along here. Sorry it's such a late one, if you were looking forward to it. We had quite a busy day, and so it came down to being a little late here. Oh, I'm gonna just do this one a while I'm at it here. So like last time we did all the black around the outside, so I'm going to do a few of these, and then if whatever I don't get done, I will post the picture, because I will get this done before I go to bed. And because it is rather late night tonight, I usually try to do these during the day, but because we had such a lot going on, I didn't get to it till now. But good things take time, they say. Okay, what other color? Should we put some of this yellow in it? Brighten it up a little bit. Oop, I already had the lid off. This is very bright pink here. I mean yellow, pink. Alright, let's see. Let's try to do a subtler pink here. It's almost like a salmon pink. Some of these are glitter, some aren't. That's okay. Ouch. Oh, that hurt. Okay, now what color do I want? I'll do some, I haven't done gold yet, I don't think. We'll do some gold here. Keep it with the yellows. And I have, well, you know what? I only have one more sliver there. I'm just going to color that one yellow. Gold. There we go. Another pretty one. This is the way to color. Just do it. Don't worry too much. So what did you think of Darwin's story? I thought, man, he's really got a rough life. I don't know how he could manage to always be scared of something and to throw up after every time that he ate. How did he not mess up the linings of his throat with all that stomach acid? Craziness, crazy things to think about. I don't even remember if they said what time frame, what type of era he lived in. I don't really know. I never really studied anything on Darwin, so I'm not quite sure. Like they might have the ages, like when he was born and when he died, and I just missed it.
He was born in 1809 and died in 1882.
Okay, in case you didn't hear that, he was born in 1809 and died in 1882. So the 1800s was.
He was 73 years old. He lived quite long.
Yeah, he did. For having all those, for having all his medical issues that he had, it's surprising that he did live to his 70s. Usually, back those days, you were lucky you were lucky you hit your 30s, and but still, I think a lot of his issues were mental more than anything. And back then, there really was no cure-all for that. Just have to deal with what your mind's putting you through. Some of these are getting to be pretty neon.
Didn't we hear the other day there's actually a phobia of bridges?
Yes, there is a phobia of bridges. That's not a
That's what
shocker. I'm scared of bridges and heights. And so high bridges over water combine my fears, and so yeah, it's a little bit taxing when you.
I forget what it was called.
Now, if it's a bridge over like a railroad or land, I don't have a problem with it as much as I do when it's over water. I don't know what the heck it's all about, but that's just something I have to deal with. Look at this guy here. He has no wing.
Some people make money by driving people over bridges.
Remember him, Mr. Wingless? So we were watching a little thing on YouTube, and it came up about how you have a phobia of going over a bridge, and there are actually bridges in America here that people will be waiting. Even cops do this too, but they will be waiting for you to come by, and you can stop by, and they will drive your car to the other side of the bridge for you for a fee. Not the cops, but you know, there are people who make money doing that. They will do that for you. So there's a job, right? Every day you just sit along the road there at one side of the bridge to drive people across the bridge to the other side. And you know, some people make good money at that because it's like $50 a pop going just to drive somebody over a bridge because they're too scared to do so. But some of those bridges.
One guy went over the bridge 4 times a day and he had to pay $50 each time.
Yeah, the guy went over the bridge 4 times a day, and each time he paid $50. So yeah, he was spending money. He was spending money to make money, basically, to get him over a bridge. That's craziness right there. I'd get another job. I mean, like, you would just not, I would not have a job that, I would move. You know, if I have to go back and forth, I would just move. Get to the other side, stay over there. And say, hey, this is where I belong because I don't want to go across the bridge and I can't afford it. There's no way that that person can afford that right now. I can't see that happening, but you know, people will pay for just about anything nowadays, so it does not shock me, especially if they have to get to work and have to pay their rent and whatever else. They're going to get across that road one way or another. I just don't see paying that extra money because you have a fear of getting to the other side. Just don't make it an issue. Don't make it something that you have to pay for. Well, I don't know the circumstances, so it's better not to judge, I guess. There are lots of butterflies on this page. Holy moly. If this was a butterfly hashtag, I'd win on this one. Let's see, I'll try this one. This one's, I gotta get a different color. There, it's not. Yeah, I just noticed that I missed this one. Forgot to finish him off. Little guy. Okay, let's get some other colors in here. Let's do some more of these pretty pinks and oranges and yellows. Those are pretty ones. We got to do some more of those. Some of these bright colors in here. I'm just going to go around here, and just since I have this one color out, I will just go around and color yellow here and there, and then I'll color other colors in. This is a fun way to do it. I just wanted it all different colors. So, let's see. Oh, this is bright color. That's what we need. Some bright colors. Well, another day down toward our weekend. We had a yard sale today, so that was part of our busyness. Did rather well. I'm the type of person, I price my stuff that I don't want to have to worry about it anymore. I had one lady comment, "You are the first person that we've seen today that has stuff for 10 cents and a quarter." And we went to some people's houses and they were like they lived high and mighty because they had their prices so high. I'm like, well, yeah, well, they probably still have their stuff too. So a big portion of it. I've seen that happen already. When people don't they don't go to yard sales, but they decide, well, you know what? It was a town-wide yard sale today. I'm going to put stuff out, but they don't know how to price it, and they end up pricing it craziness. I've seen that already, and it is crazy the way people would price their stuff. You don't know what's going on. Like, it's almost like they want to get back what they put in, no matter how much they used it. And it's just crazy. You go into a yard sale with a budget and you go and you see something you like, and it's almost as much as when you could get it in the store for brand new, and you want to say something but you don't. It's just like, oh, I really want that, but man, why do you have it so high? Clothing is one thing that I just don't understand, how some people price their stuff on that, because I've seen some craziness. You get t-shirt and it's not even a special t-shirt and they want $5 for it. It's like, come on. And then I have people ask me, is this what the price is? Yep. I put a whole pile of stuff in a box and say, take the whole box for this price. One lady came up this morning and she kind of was laughing at herself, I guess, and she says, cookbooks. I heard her say cookbooks. The way she said it, it was funny. Like, oh. And she says, oh, I saw this box of cookbooks and I have a problem. She said, like she had an addiction. I've got a problem. I love cookbooks. And I said, well, that whole box there you can have for $3. She shot me a look like, what? Because there was a lot of cookbooks in there.
She's the one when they pulled up to the curb, her
yep.
husband got out and she didn't want to get out of the car.
Oh, yeah.
She knew she would get something.
Yeah, that's how it went down. Her husband came out and saw the box that had the cookbooks in, and I guess she didn't really want to come out of the car, but he told her there was a box of cookbooks because I guess he knows she loves cookbooks. He's an enabler. And so she said, yeah, I really like cookbooks. I said, oh, there's all kinds in there. She goes, yeah, I don't even care if I just get one good recipe out of a book. I just like to go through them and see the different things. And then she says that what she does is she has her church. She said her church was going to have a rummage sale coming up. So I said, well, there you go. So whatever you don't want, you can just share. And she was like all for that. She was all for that whole So she took the whole box. She went right over to her purse, and she didn't even take her purse out of the car. I think that's how determined she was not to get any books. But yeah, and then I had Mark carry the box to her car for her because it was rather heavy. But yeah, another happy customer. And I'm happy too because I didn't have to bring it back in. I was so tired of looking at all those cookbooks for a while. We deal with an auction, and I take them to the auction, and I have them there for people to, I put a whole box full, and the vids start at $5, and I wasn't even getting $5. Okay, this one's not happening. And people weren't even bidding on it, so I got tired of it. I'm like, nope, I'm not gonna have to worry about this anymore. I'm gonna just put this out for the sale, and hopefully somebody buys them, and they did. And then I had some other people's other stuff. I just started boxing stuff up with one price on it. I say something, so much for all, And I now would get a look too. Some people would be looking at me like, really? Is that right? Yeah, I don't want it. We have a neighbor who, I guess he doesn't do a lot of yard sales, but he made a lot of money today on what he did have because he had collectible items. And he was so adamant about, he had a pile of dishes. And he says, I do not want these dishes. I don't want to take them back in the house. I'm pretty soon just going to tell people that just take these dishes. Well, do you know that his stuff was still outside? He left it outside because he just didn't want to. He was like, I'm not taking this stuff back in. I don't want to take this stuff back in. Kept saying, well, that stuff is still out there at the curb. I think it was at 9 o'clock tonight. It was still out at the curb. He had a sign on him that, he had prices on some stuff. Some stuff was free. Some stuff was, had prices on. And he had it that they should just put the money through his mail slot. And I don't know if he still has it out there or not. I haven't checked recently, but yeah, all the stuff was out there. He's a very trusting individual. Believe me, I don't know if I would have trusted having all that stuff, because some of his stuff was collectible stuff, and he still had it outside. And nowadays, you just can't be as trustworthy as you used to be, or trusting as you used to be. You can be trustworthy. It's just the idea that people take advantage. And we're booking along here. I got half of them done. There's so freaking many of them. We'll see what we can quickly do here. I'll do this bunch over here, and then I might have to call it. Okay. Get some blue ones. We don't have too many of the blue ones. Blue and purple. We'll work on some blue and purple ones. Yeah, this whole page was, I had ideas, and then I looked at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy was crazy with the butterflies already. Did anybody else color this page? Let me see. I don't remember if I told you what book it is. It's Kaleidomorphia, Kirby Rosinus. I don't know if anybody else has done this. I looked to see if I could get some inspiration, and I couldn't find anything on YouTube when I put it in. So I'll be posting mine on Instagram, and probably up on the community page. If it inspires someone, it does. If it doesn't, that's fine too. I'm having trouble seeing a little bit here, so if I look like I'm hesitating, it's because it's the glare from my light. It's not being nice. Huh?
Is your camera over your picture?
Yeah. Why?
I know sometimes.
I have marks on here. And I have a cat. Yeah. I have a cat behind me. Who's not helping the matter. So I'm trying to sit in this chair, but I have a cat that's right up my butt. And we have another one. It's a talker, making all kinds of noise. Okay. This one's going to have some yellows and oranges in it. Gotta get a colorful one going here. Oh my goodness, Pixie. Oh my goodness, Pixie. You got a lot to say, girl. I don't know who's behind me, but they're pushing me off my chair. Okay. I'll do this blue here. No, we got another one. We got our crotchety old man kitties grumpling. What do you think, Cinder? What do you got to say, buddy? All right, more yellows. Sorry if I'm pushing you out of frame there. Oh my goodness, this is a forever page. I think this is the longest that I've ever had to work on a page. Let's see what I get some gold in here. Now, what other color? Maybe a hot pink. What do you think? We'll add a hot pink. Imagine if there were butterflies that look like these. Painted butterflies. There's a playing card right there. Caught me off guard there. Wasn't quite ready for it, and then all of a sudden it was just there. I have some funny colors here, like this salmon color. It's different. I shouldn't say funny, different. Let's offset it with some green. We're going to put together colors that we wouldn't normally see together. What the heck? And this one I'll put green here. And down here. We got some really hidden butterflies. And top that one off with some yellow. All right, maybe we'll do some blue on this one.
Did you say salmon?
Yeah, salmon color. And you know, I don't even think salmon is that color in real life.
Yeah, it's like
so it's,
do they have a catfish color or goldfish color?
well, they probably do. I could probably see a goldfish color, but I just,
dolphin.
yeah, it would be dolphin gray but salmon isn't salmon. I mean, like, salmon isn't that color, so I don't know where that came from.
I want to color this bass. Catfish.
Don't know where it came from. It just is. Oh, that didn't feel good. Orange, where are you? There we go. I found it. Alrighty. Oh, there's a little guy in here hiding. We'll have to make him a little noticeable. I don't think I've used that green yet. Alright, let's... This is a very pale green. But that's alright. I'll get that going over here. All the pale green guys flock to this side. Could you imagine butterflies like this that glowed in the dark? Some of these are very neon. Okay, I'm going to add some pink so that it's not so pale. And some blue. Get a little bit of dark color in there. Darker. Oh, let's get the salmon out there. And gold and yellow and then you can see why this is just get tedious after a while. It's just what did people use before toilet paper?
Oh, it shows a corn cob.
Oh, good Lord. And Mark says it shows a corn cob. We have the YouTube up on TV. And he's just checking different things that are on there, and that popped up. There's a fun fact. Pretty sure somebody out there accidentally used poison leaves.
It's called Weird History Documentary. That fits in with our weird history book that we're reading.
Spending a little more time on this booger. That's a bigger butterfly. So we shall do this color next here. That looks pretty. I'm going to put it up in here too. Doesn't want to, the salmon is not a good color here. It doesn't want to come out of the pen. There we go. Oh, I'm going to do this one right here. This one right here. And then if we have a brighter pink, we can add that next to the salmon. And then I'm going to put yellow on there. Just to give it some brightness. I don't care if the colors don't go together. Whose butterflies are these anyway? Alrighty, so I did the top half of there, but you can see all those pretty butterflies. And so that's where I will stop, and I will post the finished product page on the community post and possibly Instagram. So stay tuned for that. Thanks so much for stopping by today. Hope you enjoyed that little Darwin fun fact, and our little coloring chat. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't. There seems to be at least like 51% of you that I see that it says are not subscribed but are watching. Please help me out. Do I sound desperate? Probably because I am. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay creative, stay colorful, stay true to yourself, stay a little creepy, and stay tuned for the next video. Hope to see you there. Bye bye for now.